was a Billy Big Bollocks. His were always bigger than yours. He'd seen more, done more, and seen it and done it better than you. If you had 2 crocodiles in your house, he had 4. Said he had 2 marsupials in his kitchen, which is an especially bold claim when you can't pronounce marsupials. He said he had a 90-foot boa constrictor that he trained to come up and lick you on the face. Said its name was Grace after his mother, and he'd send it to the kitchen and it'd come back with a beer for you, grasped in the end of its muscly tail. Well, it was all tail, and it was a tall tail.
We're marching on, we're marching on, we're marching on, you know we're marching on. Marching on, you know we're marching on. Just marching on, you know we're marching.
He was the most irritating man in the pub. He had the air of a junior estate agent that had won 200 quid on a scratch card. He had a little bit of Columbia in his pocket. It said he was going for a piss, but he must have irritable bowel syndrome or irritable nose syndrome, because he was gone way too long for a piss. Anyway, we see him talking to this Chinese guy. The Chinese guy, Phil I think his name is, looks bored to death. And to be fair, this coat-up arsehole is bringing the whole place down. Phil says, I have consulted the horoscope, I've consulted the moon and stars, and for 2 large whiskies I can tell you who you are. I could have told him who and what he is for nothing.